We've been doing sound absorption testing, and that is testing a variety of things such as carpet tiles. We're testing to see how they affect the reverberation time of a particular area. The reverberation time is the time it takes for sound levels to get from one level and drop down to another, so it's a decay rate. The way we do the sound absorption coefficient test is we would measure an empty room for the reverberation time, and we would record that at 6 different microphone positions with 2 sound sources. To get a good certainty in the measurements, we measure 5 times, so we're absolutely clear on what the results are. The test of the empty room, i.e. no sample being installed, is a reference point, and then we're using that reference to determine the sound absorption coefficient of the sample that's been installed in the room. We've got something called a real-time analyzer, which both generates an output to the loudspeakers that are in the room, and it'll also record the output of the microphones. It's got some clever software that can take a real-time signal in the time domain and convert it into the frequency domain, and that displays the data in 1/3 octave bands. Typically we would use filtered white noise, and that's basically just a flat frequency response. Then we would install the sample typically on the floor of the reverberation room, and then we'd repeat the measurement with the sample inside the room. The way we obtain the sound absorption coefficient is through calculation using the 2 measurements, so we know that the sound absorption coefficient is of that sample that's been installed in the room. The second test today was a measurement of impact improvement, which uses a known sound source, i.e. a tapping machine, that is placed on the floor above the receiving room. We'd measure the impact noise transmitted into the receiving room, and then we would repeat the measurements with some kind of floor covering, be it laminate flooring, carpet tiles. The impact improvement is the difference between the bare floor measurements and the sample on the floor. Comparing the measurements for the bare floor and the sample installed on the same floor allows us to determine if there is a reduction in the amount of noise transmitted into the room below. In general, floor coverings improve the amount of noise reduction between the floor and the receiving room below.